February the 27th, the Arrows beating Baltimore in Maryland, sudden death by a score of 7-6. Tonight, live from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, it's the New York Arrows, champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Tonight, the Arrows will attempt to detonate the Baltimore Blast. The New York Arrows are brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Chemical Bank. The chemistry is just right at Chemical. Arby's, featuring the new delicious deli specialty sandwiches from Arby's Roast Beef Restaurants. Betamax, featuring a full line of video cassette recorders from Sony, the one and only. Ultra Seal, the ultimate in automotive protection products, sold nationally by new car dealers only. And Skoal, Copenhagen, and Happy Days, moist smokeless tobaccos. A pinch is all it takes. And a good evening and welcome to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. I'm Spencer Ross along with Roy Messing. And tonight, Game 3 of this 1981-82 season between these two clubs. And as you saw, the Arrows were hard-pressed to win that one in Baltimore. The game before, though, went to Baltimore quite easily, Roy, 6-3. So this is a tough team.
Well, that makes it the deciding game tonight. They're one apiece. Two very tough games. Baltimore beat New York soundly in Baltimore the first time. New York came back and won a heartbreaker right at the end, as we saw the second time. This should be a very tough game tonight.
Kenny Cooper's put together a heck of a club, and Roy, of course, empathizes with anybody who was a former goalkeeper, and Kenny Cooper was a heck of a goalkeeper, but he's put together a good blend of a great deal of talent, and I think when you start talking about Baltimore, you have to talk about the man who wears number 14, Joey Fink.
Joey's having a tremendous year. He's played in the league all 3 years, and this is fourth. He's been a top goal scorer. He's moved into third place among the all-time leading scorers. He's very much on top of his game, and he's going to be somebody to look for.
Speaking of Kenny, the team has lost 7 of its last 11, but they are a team that is definitely in the fight. They are sitting in third place right now in the Eastern Division, and they still got a shot at catching second place Pittsburgh. And tonight, it's going to be an all-Long Island cast and goal. Shep Messing for the Arrows, and down the other end, another Long Island.
Well, I'm no one to argue. I think New York has produced the best goalkeepers in the league, and Sepp Gottenheimer and Shep, of course, are two very fine examples. This will be a very tough game. Baltimore's certainly a good team, but definitely in a slump and looking to come out of it tonight.
The Arrows have won 9 of their last 10, but this is a big one tonight. A contingent of fans have come up from Baltimore. The response to that franchise down there has just been incredible. We were there a few weeks ago, and they just packed the place to the rafters.
Well, they had sold out that game over a month and a half before the night that it was to be played. The fans love it in Baltimore. They're supporting their team all the way, and they're looking for them to do well in the playoffs coming up.
Big game for the Arrows tonight as they take on the Baltimore Blast. Arrows will be here this Sunday also to go against the Jersey Rockets. Head out and see New York Arrows soccer. And right now, sit back, relax, and we'll get back with the opening kickoff to tonight's battle between the Arrows and the Baltimore Blast right after these words. Spencer Ross and Roy Messing back here at the Nassau Coliseum as we look at Shep Messing, who will be going into goal once again tonight for the New York Arrows. Zolly Toth turned in an excellent performance as the Arrows beat Buffalo right here on Wednesday night. You see Shep's record, 16-5, 4.67. His goals against average down the other end. Sepp Gottenheimer, the goalkeeper out of Long Island University, a native of Queens, New York. He was third in the league last year in goal. This year, throughout most of the year, he's taken a back seat to Keith Van Aaron, but Kenny Cooper has been utilizing him quite a bit as of late. You see he's turned the trick, a record of 9 up and 3 down. The referees, Bill Maxwell on the left, Don Winshank is on the right, and we are set for the opening kickoff, and Peter Baralich at center field to kick it off now for the Baltimore Blast. The Arrows will be going with Billy Gazonis, Omar Gomez, Steve Jungle. Back in defense, Juan Carlos Machia, who has the ball, and this is Renato Chila. We're underway at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum with New York Arrows soccer, and the ball is played on the far side by Jim Polahan, who drops it back now to Danny Counts, number 8, and it comes to Gottenheimer. Up to Peter Baralich. Baralich, one of the all-stars in this major indoor soccer league, gives it to Mike Stankovic, shaved by Messing out in front. Billy Gazonis clears it aside, but it comes back to center field, where it's taken by Dan Counts. Counts' pass goes awry, and Machia comes up with it. Bad ball by Machia, and Baltimore now in control. Baltimore, as I mentioned, has lost 7 of its last 11, but a force to be reckoned with. And the New York Arrows well aware of it. Counts trying to feed it ahead, broken up by Machia. This is Gomez. Machia goes down the right, tries to feed ahead to Jungle, broken up by Counts and taken by Mike Stankovich, number 5. Played a minute 5, scoreless game. Baltimore with the ball. This is Peter Baralich, number 22. Paul Crosley. Try to get it to Counts, who was coming in from his defensive position. Machia goes quickly, beaten to the ball by Joey Fink.
We notice Counts going forward. Counts a defender, but normally Counts is a striker, so that gives Baltimore a little bit of flexibility going forward.
Here's the man, Joey Fink, 44 goals in the season. He can put him home, 6th in the Major Indoor Soccer League in scoring, and the Arrows counter immediately with Omar Gomez, but a bad ball taken back by the Baltimore Blast. 13-12 left in this first quarter. And Stankovich slows it down as Baltimore makes a change on the fly here. Dan Counts with the ball. Kenny Cooper getting a new unit out there. That'll be a foul right out in front, and it'll go against Baltimore's Pat Ercoli, number 11.
It was a handball, Patty, trying to disguise it. Chest trap, but he got a hand on it to bring it down. The referee saw it.
This is Gomez. Arrows have yet to make a change. Stan Karasi is out there now, number 8. That's the first change made by Coach Don Popovich. Comes over to Karasi. This is Gomez. And we'll get a foul. It will go against Baltimore. Nick Mangione picks it up. And Omar Gomez, none the worse for wear. Well, let's check it. It may go against the Arrows.
No, against Baltimore, an obstruction foul. Against Gomez, and it'll start with a restart for New York.
Karasi's first goal, there he is on the right side of your screen, came in St. Louis in the game you saw here on Channel 9, WOR-TV. This is Jungle. It's the goal that won the game. That's a handball that time against Pat Ercoli. 12:31 left in this first quarter. Scoreless game. Arrows, the only quarter that they really have problems in is quarter number 1. They have been outscored during the course of the season in the first quarter. This is Karasi ahead to Gomez. Karasi trying to move around Nick Mangione, number 19. Jungle with the ball now. Backheels it, but Mangione breaks it up. And here comes Baltimore. Crosley, Messing couldn't hold on to it. Gomez comes up with it.
Shep had some trouble. The ball coming off the boards like that has a lot of spin, and it's very difficult to handle.
Here is Gomez. Jungle. Good wall pass to Gomez, and the give and go. The shot save, and a good one by Gottenheimer.
Great job by Gomez to get open on his right foot, and Seppi had to reach out with one hand and did a fine job holding on to it.
11:35 left quarter number 1. Scoreless game. Here is Mangione. Puts it in front. Cleared aside by Val Tupchuk. Ball is loose out in front of the goal. Paul Crosley puts it home. The Arrows gave it away, and Pat Ercoli fed Crosley, and Crosley beat Shep Messing easily.
A good opportunity here, but we see Tupchuk pinched in as the ball comes across to Pat Ercoli. Tupchuk, normally the right defender, comes in to cover, leaves Crosley open. He goes high, and Shep goes down to cover the goal. You see Shep come out to break out the first play coming off the boards. Baltimore getting some good opportunities early off those boards. This is what started it here. A bad pass back from Karasi goes right to Patty, and that's what left Tupchuk open in the middle. Crosley open on the back post, goes high. A good goal for Baltimore.
And the Blast leads it 1-0 for Paul Crosley. His 10th goal of the season. There he is in the center of your screen. Baltimore with the ball again. Peter Baralich, number 2. Beating it ahead to Jim Polahan. Comes to Baralich again. His shot blocked out in front. Baltimore in control. Mike Stankovich with it now. 11 minutes left in this first quarter. This is Baralich. Polahan. Stankovich. And Gottenheimer has it.
Number 10, Mark Litteridge.
This is Joey Fink, number 14. Val Tupchuk right with him. There are times when Tuchia appears to be plodding and a little bit slow, but he might be one of the strongest players in the league, and he has great speed.
That's what gives him that appearance. He's so strong, so big, and he's a very deceptive player. That's why he beats a lot of people going forward. Tuchia in the last game scored 2 goals, and you might see Val go forward a lot tonight with that extra bit of confidence.
Here's Paul Kitson getting it to Mark Liverich, number 10. Liverich with a left foot shot. Guttenheimer got his hand on it, and it's cleared aside by Mike Stankovic. Baltimore counterattacking nicely. Good ball by Barrett. Over to Joey Finkel. Fire. Save. Messing on the rebound. It comes back out, and the Arrows have the ball once again. This is Gino Strenicer. Kitson. Shot blocked by Mike Stankovic, but kept in play by Strenicer, who chips it up off the wall, and it's played by Danny Couch. Arrows beginning to put some pressure on, and Fernando Clavillo will chase it down with 9:35 left in this first quarter. Baltimore leading it on Paul Crosley's 10th goal of the season, 1-0. Here's Mark Liverich trying to move around Peter Barrett, and that'll be a foul on Barrett. There is the boss, the coach, Don Popovich of the New York Arrows. Needless to say, the most successful coach in the MISL. He's never lost a title. He's shooting for his 4th straight. Gene Strenicer breaks that one up, and it comes back to midfield. It's played by Baltimore's John Collins. Out in front, the shot by Ercoli, and the save on the rebound. Crosley, Messing trying to go for it. Crosley, Ercoli heads it home. Crosley and Ercoli do it again, and this time it is Ercoli who comes up with a goal. Great hustle and great effort by number 11 and number 16.
I won't take credit away from Baltimore. This is a good Baltimore goal, but a lot of confusion in the New York back. You see a good save by Shep here, but the pass back from Katakalides, neither player knew who was going to get it, left the player open on the back post. And Pat Hercules sticks it home. He had nothing to miss. He had a full open goal. You see it start here, try a bad clearance. Crossley gets a piece of it, a save by Shep here. Now the mix-up. Shep going for the ball, and Katakalides gets an extra touch on it. That caused some confusion, drew everybody to one side, left an open net for Pat Hercules. Nothing Shep can do there. 2-0 Baltimore.
Beautiful feed by Crosley as he just chipped it up into the air, and Ercoli was all alone. Here is Mark Liverich coming back for the Arrows, and now trailing by a score of 2-0. 8:35 left in this first quarter of play. Baltimore on goals by Crosley and Ercoli, leading it 2-0. Here's Mangione going for it. Ball is loose in front. Taken by Jungle. This is Gene Strenicer. Nikitovic goes for it, but it's chipped back into the ball around, and Ercoli has it. And he drops it off for Guttenheimer. Shot by Stankovic, and Messing comes up with it. This is Gene Strenicer. Steve Jungle, Peter Barrett's right with him, but it takes the Baltimore bounce. Seven minutes, 24 seconds left in the first quarter. This is Joey Fink now for Baltimore. Shot, Mejia got a piece of it, and Messing was there with the save. Goalkeepers talk to their teammates. Shep at this point is not talking. He is screaming.
Yeah, he's very upset. The midfielder is not coming back to cover the extra man. Baltimore coming forward freely with 3 and 4 players, and New York only back with 2 defenders, giving a lot of open shots and a lot of trouble for Shep. He's trying to encourage the midfielder to come back and come with the running midfielder from Baltimore.
Arrows trailing 2-0. 6:52 left in this first quarter. Here's Billy Gazonis, number 6 for the New York Arrows. Counts nearly broke it up. Nikitovic fires just wide. Rebound. Sheila puts it in front. Jungle tried to get the shot off. Barrett was right on his back. Steve calling for the foul. The whistle never blew. 6.5 left first quarter. 2-0 Baltimore. Peter Barrett with the ball. Baltimore 5.5 games behind the Arrows. Arrows have been a hot team. Baltimore's been cold as of late. Arrows have won 9 of their last 10. Baltimore losing 7 of its last 11. Distributed nicely out by Shep Messing, but Peter Baralich cut in front of him once again. Baralich not only cuts in front of you, he lets you know he has an elbow.
Baralich is a very physical player. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he doesn't. A look at Ken Cooper, a fine goalkeeper in his time, and doing a tremendous job coaching the Baltimore Blast.
This is Nikitovich now for New York. Counts is on his back. Gazonis. Back to Machia. 5:45 left first quarter. New York Arrows soccer right here from the Nassau Coliseum. Plenty more happening this Sunday afternoon. The Arrows will go against their cross river rival, so to speak, the Hudson River, the Jersey Rockets. This is Machia now for New York. Tachila. Billy Gazonis drops for Gomez. Counts right with him. Back to Gazonis. To Jungle. Jungle tried to get the shot off, but was blocked, and Joey Fink has a one-on-one with Ron Carlos Machia. Fink makes the move, doesn't get much in the shot as Chila came over to help out. And here's the outlet pass coming over to Jungle. Gives to Gomez. Jungle moves toward the net. Gomez puts it in front, and the shot is chipped up into the crowd by Karasi. Good feed by Gomez. 4:50 left in the first quarter of play. We'll take a break at the Nassau Coliseum with the score. The Baltimore Blast 2 and the New York Arrows nothing. There's Seb Guttenheimer in goal for Baltimore. His team leading it by a score of 2-0. Val Tuchsa gets his head on it. This is Karasi. And chased down by Bob McAvan, number 6. And that'll go as a handball against McAvan. Arrows will put it into play. Gomez. Nobody there except Pat Ercole. This is Tuchsa. Mangione didn't like what Val did, and he let him know about it.
Well, Val came in very hard in the tackle, and Mangione didn't waste any time. The next opportunity he had, when the ball came down, he gave a stiff elbow to Tuchsa in the chest.
Referee Bill Maxwell. There's Coach Don Popovich getting in a couple of words. This is Jungle. Tuchsa. And Tuchsa has it taken away, and that foul will go against Val. Walt Crosley took it away from him. Here is Val Tuchsa, member of the Eastern Division MISL All-Stars. Ercole, number 11. 4:07 left first quarter. Arrows trail 2-0. Taken away by Karasi. There's Jungle. Good ball to Gomez. Puts it back in front, but McAvan tips it up for goalkeeper Guttenheimer. You know, you talk about Jungle, the great goal scorer. He has 49 assists this year. He's 3 off the league record. Held by Jorgen Christensen. Good ball to Ercole. The shot sails wide by Crosley. Ercole and Crosley have been the story thus far in this first quarter. This is Jungle having trouble with McAvan. And we finally do get a whistle. Foul will go against McAvan for tripping. Jungle saying, hey, Bill, call it maybe a little sooner.
You saw Jungle motion for the 2-minute. He pushes off there, but there was some serious pushing there before on the boards, and then 2 hard tackles off the ball, taking him off the ball right there. Jungle wanted a 2-minute, but I don't think there's any way. Referee right on the spot. It's certainly a foul, but not a 2-minute.
Here is Gomez playing it off the wall. Comes back out to Tuchsa. 3:25 left first quarter. 2 for Baltimore, 0 for the New York Arrows. Fernando Clavillo, number 14. Clavillo's shot sails up into the crowd. McAvan didn't get a foot on it, so it'll be a Baltimore ball. Kenny Cooper likes to change in toto. And there you take a look at the upcoming Arrow home games. This Sunday, the Arrows up against the New Jersey Rockets, and you can get to see this Baltimore team once again on April the 10th. That's a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Philadelphia will be here, and the Pittsburgh team on the 25th of this month, the Pittsburgh Spirit, and they're the team in second place currently right now. And that number for ticket information, area code 516, and the number is NYARROW. Get out and see the New York Arrows for the remaining home game during this 1981-82 season. And of course, the playoffs right on the horizon, and there'll be plenty of that action coming your way. Here's Liberidge getting it to Karasi. 2 minutes 50 seconds left first quarter. Arrows are trailing it by a score of 2-0 on goals by Crosley and Ercole. Here's Karasi. Stan's shot is blocked out in front by Stankovic. Baltimore counterattacking now. Joey Fink goes for it, but Tuchka beats him to the ball and gets back to Messing.
We got a second time we got to look at Stan Karasi intercepting a pass. He's a very experienced player, and he almost plays like a free safety in the midfield. He'll wait and wait for the pass, and then just as the man swings the foot, he'll step in and read the play.
And he's got great control once he does take the ball away. He knows where everybody is and sets things up very well.
Karasi's a recent addition to the team, but he played in the league 2 years ago, and a top player, world-class international.
Here is Gomez. Good move by Omar. Hit the crossbar on the rebound. It comes back out to Gomez. Had Gottenheimer beat that time. Tuchka feeding it ahead. And let's see, the foul will go against Baltimore, and it's going to be for 2 minutes. Jim Polahan's going to go off for 2, and the Arrows will have the man advantage.
Take a look at it here. We'll see what Barlish does. That's full forechecking, I think it's called. Although we don't call it that in soccer. He just blocked him out of the way, totally beaten by Tuchka, and just knocked him to the ground. Certainly a 2-minute penalty.
Barlish goes to the penalty box, and the Arrows will have the man advantage, something they've been very successful at. 27 goals and 63 attempts for 43%, but Baltimore plays well when they're down a man. They've given up goals only 20 times in 79 attempts. It's just about 25%. So here are the Arrows with a man advantage. Gomez, shot by Machia, is blocked by Bob McEvan, and the Arrows will start it up again. 1:40 left on the penalty to Barlish. This is Gomez to Strenicer. Machia. Back out to Strenicer. 1:25 left in the penalty. Gomez trying to tee it up and fire it. It was blocked and played by Machia. Nikitovic back to Machia. This is Strenicer. Gomez puts it in front to Jungle, just trying to flick it on, and the save was made. And Gottenheimer just lofts it up into the air. With 1:03 remaining on the penalty, 2-0 Baltimore as you see it. Arrows here with a man advantage. Nikitovic to Strenicer. Has Gomez on the right. Omar gives to Jungle. Good wall pass to Gomez, but broken up at the final possible second. Machia's shot is cleared out, and it'll still be Arrows' ball. With 46 seconds left in the penalty, 41 seconds left in this first quarter.
New York obviously at an advantage with an extra man, but they're starting to play a little bit better, starting to find the passes. They were a little bit off. Everything was a bit tentative, certainly after the 2 Baltimore goals. Now they seem to be playing with a little more confidence and back into the game. This is a good way to do it, a man up.
Here is Gomez. Try to put it in front. Bad ball right there. You were talking about the good passes, and a bad one by Gomez that time. 18 seconds left in the quarter. Strenicer takes it away, gets it to Gomez. Omar off the wall, gets it over to Jungle, back to Nikitovic. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Strenicer, 5, 4, 3. Arrows may not get a shot off. Nikitovic to Jungle. There's the horn just as he fires, and Gottenheimer comes up with a save, and Jungle with his hands on hips walks back to the bench. A tough first quarter for the New York Arrows. Goals by Crosley and Ercole, and the Baltimore Blast leads it after 1 by a score of 2-0. At the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, Spencer Ross along with Roy Messing. We played 1 quarter here, and the Baltimore Blast leading the Arrows by a score of 2-0. Great persistence here by the Baltimore team as they fight the Arrows for the ball.
Well, when it becomes a scramble, everybody gets involved, and Tuchka got pulled in, left Crossley open on the back post. good open goal. Shep went down to cover as much as he could, and he went high. The second goal here starts on the left side. Shep coming out to cover goal, goes high. Total confusion here now off the boards. We see Shep make a save. Katakalides doesn't know whether to play it back or whether Shep's going to take it first time. And now the confusion comes out here. Open net, beautiful ball lifted to the back post to Pat Ercole. No room to miss, sticks it in the back of the net.
Well, that time it was Crosley to Ercole. The first time it was Ercole to Crosley. For each of them, their 10th goals of the season, and that's the way we stand now. Baltimore 2, the New York Arrows nothing. Fernando Clavillo now for the New York Arrows. Baralich is out of the penalty box. Teams are now at full strength. Arrows unable to capitalize on the man advantage. This is Clavillo, number 14 for New York. 14:40 left in this first half of play with the Arrows trailing at 2-0. Good to have Fernando Clavillo back after the knee injury.
Came back very quickly, had surgery on the knee after a serious injury early in the season, came back in a short amount of time, and he's playing again, playing well.
Baralich backheeling it to nobody except the New York Arrows' George Katakalides. Jungle goes for it. Instead, it's taken by Baltimore, and Mike Stankovic has it, number 5. We're early in the second quarter. It is 2-0 Baltimore. This is Joey Fink now for the Baltimore Blast. Dan Counts, number 8. Stankovic. Paul Kitson tackles the ball away. Tries to feed it ahead to Jungle, and Gottenheimer makes the calculated move, and it works out to his favor. This is Kitson. Kitson trying to squeeze it through to Gazonis. Kitson still going for the ball. Down he goes into the wall with Stankovic right with him. And Kitson might have hit that right leg up against the boards.
Got to look at it on the replay. This is a dangerous foul as he comes in from behind. It wouldn't be so dangerous in the middle of the field, but because of the boards by the edge, that is called boarding. He calls it a penalty, obviously a foul, but not a 2-minute penalty. But perhaps near the boards that could warrant a 2-minute.
This program intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of the Arrows Communications Corporation is strictly prohibited. Paul Kitson is up, but he is holding on to that left thigh, I guess, is where
well, he got hit from behind, so he must have banged it up against the wall.
Kitson puts it into play. Gottenheimer just punched it out. Baralich chases it down, number 22. Katakalides right with him. Kitson. Baralich right with him. Play on, says referee Maxwell. Kitson with the ball. 13:18 left in the half. Arrows trailing by a score of 2-0. Gazonis to Jungle. Dan Counts practically dancing with the Jungle.
The crowd didn't like it, but there was nothing serious happening. He was just holding on, just squaring off, shoulder to shoulder.
Ercole getting it back to Counts. His shot is blocked by Clavillo. And Clavillo colliding in the boards with Joey Fink. Fink comes right back after him, and that'll be a penalty, and it will send Joey Fink to the box for 2 minutes. Well, Fink didn't like what Clavillo did to him, and perhaps out of frustration or anger, he came back and went right after Fernando.
Well, it's called retaliation. Outdoors on a big field, sometimes you can get away with it, especially when the ball is somewhere else. But indoors with the referee right there and with the ball at the player's feet, there's no way. We see a hard collision here. Very fair. You see the referee wind shake in the box, motions to play on, and now Joey comes in and just boom, hip check, takes him right out. Certainly a 2-minute penalty. Got to look at it from a different angle. We saw that we missed the first foul. Now you see Fink doesn't go for the ball. He just comes in at knee height and takes him out. Never went for the ball. Dangerous foul.
Here's Bob Baldwin looking at Fernando. Remember, he has just come back from knee surgery.
When you have an operation of that sort and the leg is incapacitated for a long period of time, you lose a lot of muscle tension, a lot of muscle tone, and it takes a long time to bring it back. That way that thigh is a little bit weaker than it normally is and more susceptible to injury.
Arrows with their second man advantage now. This is Nikitovic. Brings it back to Karasi. Good ball to Chila. His shot deflects up off the glass into the crowd.
That'll be an Arrows corner kick off the Baltimore defender. We see Seth Gottenheimer setting up his defense. He squares off, covers the near post, puts one man in front of the ball, and everybody else around the arc covering the other New York attackers.
Our last telecast, the Arrows trailed 3-0 in St. Louis, and now it is 2-1. As Karasi puts home the goal off the feed by Renato Chila. And the initial Arrows goal in St. Louis came also off a corner kick. And here is Karasi with his third goal of the season.
Karasi makes it look easy, but this is a bullet. Chila's going for goal, and Karasi has to get his full inside of his foot on it. Boom, and no chance for Seth Gottenheim. It's from point-blank range. What a goal from Karasi, and a great feed from Chila. Tremendous goal.
Man advantage goal for the New York Arrows. Stan Karasi on the assist by Renato Chila. And it is now 2-1. This is Polahan going for the ball. Karasi comes up with it for New York, ahead to Liberich. Liberich losing to Stankovic, and Barlich feeds it ahead now to Stankovic. Good sliding tackle, no, but it was a handball. Nevertheless, good play by Chila because there was a man alone in the slot had that ball gotten through.
This goal is the medicine that New York needed. They really weren't in the game up until this point. The crowd wasn't really into it, but one goal makes all the difference in the world. Now the crowd is with them, and they're starting to play.
11:55 left in the first half. Arrows trailing now by a score of 2-1. Gottenheimer, who has himself a heck of an arm. This is Liberich to Kitson. Tries to put it in front, and it is broken up by Stankovic. Dan counts ahead to Polahan. This is Joey Fink. Overruns the ball, and the latest addition of the New York Arrows, Mike Rayevich, feeds it up ahead. Rayevich wears number 22. This is Karasi, number 8, to Liberich. Gottenheimer, it went right through his arms, and fortunately the wall was there. Otherwise, this is a 2-2 game, and we got a penalty coming up here.
2-minute penalty for delay of game. We see the referee Maxwell motion delay of game. When the ball is cleared intentionally into the crowd, we see it start with a bullet, left foot from Liberich, and now it squirts through Gottenheimer's legs and is cleared off the line by Dan Counts. The referee decided it was cleared intentionally into the stands, and that's delay of game. 2-minute penalty gives New York another man advantage power play.
And you saw Paul Kitson raise his hand up with the V sign, meaning 2.
Well, New York had been called this penalty in the previous game against Buffalo, and they argued it very vehemently, but here tonight, the same, very similar situation cleared by Baltimore. New York knows what the call is because it was against them last time. 2 minutes.
Well, the Arrows, who trailed at 2-0, scoring moments ago on a man advantage, and now with another opportunity with Dan Counts in the penalty box. This is Karasi. Nikitovic. Try to get it to Jungle, a little bit too far, and Joey Fink drops it back to Gottenheimer. Ahead to Fink. 1.5 minutes left on the penalty. And that an offside pass. Joey Fink fired that from his own zone over the opposite red line in the air. And that is the MISL offside rule. This is Karasi to Gomez. 1:25 left on the penalty. The Arrows with a man advantage. They're 1 for 2 in man advantage situations this evening. Karasi to Nikitovic. Jungle. Double team. Polahan clears it off the board. Karasi back to Nikitovic. His shot off the glass. Joey Fink has ball and space and moves it up.
1 minute, Arrows had advantage.
55 seconds left of the penalty. Joey Fink killing some good time. Here is Gomez. Arrows have a 3-on-2. Karasi to Jungle. Chipped it up, and it just hit off the outside post. Steve Jungle, who has great power. Super finesse move right there.
He really had nothing to lose. I don't know if he was going for goal. He knew he had very little angle. He just sent it across. Gomez was racing in on the far post. And it kind of ended up in between the best of 2 worlds. He couldn't get the goal from that angle. It hit the post, and it was too close to the goal for Gomez to get a head on.
And a different 2 on a visit their move. Game 6.
It is 2-1 Baltimore with 9:45 left in the first half of play. This is Nikitovich. Locked up into the crowd off the leg of Baralich, and it'll still be Arrow's ball on the corner kick. Dragan Nikitovich. That is Peter Baralich, number 22.
Corner kick, New York.
First game in Baltimore, which the Blast won 6-3. Baralich had 2 goals that night. Here is Tuchel. Good left foot shot. Gottenheimer with a save. Rebound. Gomez goes for it. Baralich comes up with it. Gomez collides with him. And that foul will go against Omar Gomez. Peter Baralich talking to assistant referee Don Woodshank.
Go on now.
Tuchel in a foot race with Baralich, and Val wins it, but Baralich takes it away, drops it in front to Mangione. Great save by Messing.
Fantastic. Shep was all the way down on the ground trying to cover for Baralich when it was sent to the middle, and he had to cover up.
Jungo's shot is way wide, and Mangione drops it back for Gottenheimer. Ahead to Baralich. This is Dan Counts. Messing gets it out ahead to Gomez with 8:45 left in the first half. Down goes Gomez. Baralich is going off. It is getting rough, and Baltimore hit for the 4th time with a penalty. Val Tuchel was creamed near midfield off camera by Dan Counts, and Val is holding onto his head.
Something definitely happened to Val, but this is the foul that was called. You see Gomez's skill. He goes at him, and look at Baralich, totally beaten, just takes him down. Very serious foul. I would think at this point it would deserve a warning.
Let's listen to Bill Maxwell. There is Tuchel, and I had my eye on it. It was a fierce collision between Val and Dan Counts, and Counts went down, and as far as Tuchel was concerned, he kind of landed on the field in a swan dive. Well, Tuchel is okay. There's Kenny Cooper on the bench, wanting to send McEvan out. Baltimore once again down a man. With 8:44 left in the half.
Needless to say, this is a very difficult situation for Baltimore. Not only are they playing a man down, not only does it set it up as we get a look at Baralich in the box. For New York, many opportunities to score goals with this man up for so much time. But it's so hard for Ken Cooper. His shifts are way off. These guys are all doing double time on the field because it's a special man on team, and it throws the whole line off for Baltimore. They're going to be very tired at the end of this period.
Here is Gomez putting it in front and broken up by Palahan. Joey Fink chases it now. Got Machia in front of him. Fink just trying to kill some time. That'll be a foul against Omar Gomez.
This is Fink's main function in the man-down situation. He's a very gangly player. He does well holding on to the ball, very skillful, and does a good job killing time.
8 minutes, 10 seconds left in the half. 1:22 remaining on the penalty to Baralich, who is off for the 2nd time tonight. Here's Nikitovich. His shot blocked by Mangione. And it'll be a corner kick coming up for the Arrows. 1:16 left on the penalty to Peter Baralich of Baltimore. 2-1. The Blast leading the Arrows.
New York is going to have to show a little bit more patience in this power play. Work for the open shot.
This is Karasi. Remember, Arrows here this Sunday against New Jersey, 2 o'clock. Get out and see the New York Arrows against the Jersey Rockets. Mangione made that save. Jungo tips it in. Steve Jungo got it on the bounce and just chipped it home, and on the man advantage situation, the Arrows for the 2nd time tonight have scored, and we're tied at 2.
Zungel was waiting on the back post all this time. Gomez made some super moves to get into the position he's in now. Takes a shot off the board. Baltimore defenders cover up. Steve's waiting on the back post. Hits it down to the turf. That makes it bounce under Seth Gottenheimer and up into the top of the net. We see great pump fake by Gomez to get around Palahan here. And now the shot off the Misl sign for the rebound. Everybody drawing in. He chips it over. Zungel comes in, hits it down to the turf, and bounces it up into the goal. Great power play goal for New York.
Kenny Cooper right here has elected to call a timeout, and as you were saying, part of the reason for it has to be that he just wants his troops to regroup and get themselves a little bit of a rest, and we'll get back here at the Coliseum. The Arrows have come back. We're all even now. New York 2, Baltimore 2 with 7:45 remaining in the first half. New York Arrows, on their second man advantage goal of the evening, have tied things up here against Baltimore at 2-2. Here's Barlich now for the blast. They've got to regroup. They had the momentum, and 8 minutes of penalties have kind of taken it away from them.
Certainly did. Actually, we have to give Baltimore some credit. 4 power plays and only 2 goals. They've really weathered the storm pretty well. But the attitude of the game has changed. Certainly New York back in at 2-2 in their home court. It's a different situation for Baltimore now. And as I mentioned, it's very difficult for the coach. The lines were all messed up. Guys on for double shifts and all players very tired.
I want to point out what you're saying, Roy. If you give up 2 out of 4 every time, you're not doing well. But when it comes in a span of about 20 minutes, you are doing well.
Absolutely. To play a man down for that length of time in such a short period of time is very, very difficult, very hard on the players.
Here is Paul Kitson now for the Arrows. Callahan played it off the wall, and Counts drops it back. Arrows all even at 2-2. Juan Carlos Machia to Gene Strenicer. Back to Machia. George Katakalitis, 6.5 remaining in the first half. Arrows 2, Baltimore Blast 2. This is Machia. Kitson went for it. He collided with Stankovic. Stankovic will pick up the foul. Paul Kitson, who has played a good part of this season with a broken arm.
That's right, he suffered a broken arm and a fall and has been playing with it since. Look at Don Popovich on the bench.
That's a broken arm you cannot get in California because it doesn't snow and you have no ice. Leverage, and that's what happened. One of those snow accidents. Out in front, Leverage. Oh, Mark had an open net, and he fired it high. Got under the ball and chipped it up into the crowd. So we remain tied at 2-2.
Not a bad idea from Leverage. He did have the whole net, but he wanted it on his left foot, and he waited till Gottenheimer went down to the turf and tried to lift it to the high near corner. He's got a little bit too much under it.
Well, Baltimore has called another timeout here.
Well, either we said something wrong before.
Only allowed 1 per half. So apparently that last timeout was one that was called by the New York Arrows. Opportunity to remind you that the Arrows have 4 more home games coming up here, regular season home games at the Nassau Coliseum. The New Jersey Rockets will be in this Sunday afternoon. Get out and see New York Arrows soccer this Sunday right here at the Coliseum. Baltimore will be back next Saturday night. That's a week from tomorrow on the 18th. Philadelphia will be in town, and then the Pittsburgh Spirit on the 25th of this month. Last time Pittsburgh was here was an impressive victory for them in overtime as they rebounded from a 4-goal deficit in the second half, tied the Arrows, and won it in the extra session. For ticket information, call that number, 516-NY-ARROW. Don Popovich talking with his troops. Shep Messing with his back to you. Paul Kitson on the right.
Well, it does make sense that Popovich had called the first timeout. He had so many power plays, he had to make sure his team was going to get a goal, and he wanted to regroup and let the players know how he wanted it handled. Now Baltimore, late in the second half, as we get a look at Popovich on the bench, back in the game. Baltimore needs a timeout just to regroup, to set their strategy for the rest of the half. They really don't know how to play the game at this point. They were a little bit lost, coming off a good job killing the penalties, and now they have to get back in the game and start playing.
We have 6:09 remaining in the first half. We're tied at 2-2. Pat Ercole taken down from behind by Fernando Clavillo, and the Arrows will be a man shy for the first time this evening.
We got to look at it. Ercole gets by on the boards, and now he's beaten him completely. He's headed for goal. Clavillo just clipped his ankle out from underneath him, and since he was headed for goal, that tripping penalty does warrant a 2-minute. Clavillo heads to the box.
The Arrows have surrendered but 19 goals in 59 attempts against a situation in which they're down a man. Baltimore has been able to score only 26% of the time. There's a good look at Fernando Clavillo, who goes into the penalty box for 2 minutes. Baltimore with 18 goals and 69 attempts. The Arrows now with 29 goals and 67 attempts, about 45%. So you see the difference there. But Baltimore kills off penalties better than the Arrows do.
Baltimore works on this a lot. They work on the man down and on the man up.
Ercole goes for it. This is Barelich trying to put it in front. Messi went for the ball, and Barelich picks up the foul. It'll be an Arrows goal kick.
Very difficult ball for Shep because it was coming in out of the air, and it didn't get to the ground until it reached the goal box. We're going to look at it on the replay. It starts on the right side. Now watch the bouncing ball. Shep has to wait till it comes into the box. Barelich gets a foot to it, and there the collision. Barelich fouls through a little bit hard, and the referee calls it. You see Shep already motioning for the penalty.
You're not old enough to remember in the movies about Follow the Bouncing Ball, are you? You ever see those old movies?
The cartoons.
With the music playing, Follow the Bouncing Ball? You are old enough.
Well, I heard about it anyway.
Arrows playing down a man. Heinz Wirtz, number 3 in the lineup for the first time. Getting it over to Barelich, who puts it in front. Here's Fink. His shot hits off the wall. Comes back out to Barelich, who drops it off for Wirtz. 1:20 left on the penalty. Kitson with a good block. And Wirtz chases it down once again. Gives to Joey Fink. Callahan, the rebound. Mangione is in. Mangione on the man advantage makes it 3-2 in favor of Baltimore. And what a month of March this young man had. He had his first hat trick. He was selected as Baltimore's Player of the Month.
Well, he's noted for his hustle, and he goes through 2 New York defenders to get here. Right jungle, right off the ball. It was a good ball played off the Misl sign. You see it start on this side. Watch this setup. He won't go for goal. Joey's going to take it to his left. And now, Ercole straight for the Misl sign. George Shep to the near post, leaves an open goal for Mangione, who rides jingle right off the ball and sticks it in the back of the net. Good
Man
goal.
advantage goal. Ercole gets his 2nd assist of the night, and Nick Mangione comes up with his 12th goal of the season. And Baltimore has come back and regained the lead at 3-2, and the team's once again at full strength. Renato Chilo will take the direct free kick. Paul Kitson had a lot of space, but the shot is blocked by John Collins, number 18. See Kenny Cooper use a lot of people now in the closing stages of the half. He's got a tired team out there with all those penalties they had to kill off.
When the team's tired, you just change players more often, and that's what Cooper's doing.
Rayevich takes it away nicely and gets it ahead now to Jungo. And Jungo's shot is blocked up into the crowd by Bob McEvan.
You hear the encouragement from the Baltimore players.
Baltimore comes up with a Joey Fink long ball to Paul Crosley. Rayevich had come for it, but Messing moved over himself. Here's Rayevich chasing it down on the corner and dropping it back nicely to Messing with 4:18 left in this first half. Baltimore 3, New York 2. Gene Strenisser ahead to Kitson. Sheila goes for it. Cleared back by Ercole. This is Kitson. To Jungle. Mangione takes it away. He's got a clear field. Messing, though, will come out and meet the ball and flip it ahead to Strenisser. This is Jungle. Rayevich. Denikiewicz. That'll be a foul on Baltimore on John Collins. Arrows put it back into play. Chila with 3:35 left in the first half. Arrows trailing it by a score of 3-2. They trailed 2-0 after one. Jungle goes for it. Gottenheimer with his Stranicer, open net. Great save in front by McEvan. McEvan covered up with Gottenheimer way out of the net.
That's the rule. When your goalkeeper leaves the goal, one defender has to drop back in, and McEvan did a fantastic job clearing it off the line.
Rayevich boots it high up into the air, back to midfield. Messing plays it in the box. This is Jungle. Shot sails wide on the rebound. It comes over to Dan Counts, number 8 for Baltimore. New York Arrows owner John Luciani watching the game tonight in Houston. Bernie Roden, the owner of the Baltimore Blast, is seated not too far down in front of us. You know who he's rooting for. You know who the fellow in Houston's rooting for. The shot by Nikitovic. Great save by Gottenheimer.
Fantastic save by Gottenheimer. That was a rocket from Nikitovic from his left foot. Gottenheimer just got one hand on it. We're going to look at this on the replay as it starts from Tuchek. Now Nikitovic right where he wants it on his left foot. A bullet, and you see it tail away from Gottenheimer. He was starting to his left. He had to reach back with his right hand. Great save.
Remains 3-2 in favor of Baltimore. Dan Counts, number 8. Long ball and a good one. Played off the boards by Palahan, and the Arrows come back with it once again. This is Gomez dropping it back now to Rabbit. Gazonis. Jungle. Gottenheimer. Risky move by Seth Gottenheimer, but he won that battle. And Baltimore has it. Mike Stankovic with 1:40 remaining in the first half. Arrows trailing it by a score of 3-2.
The game has certainly opened up a little bit more. Both teams using a little less caution and going full tilt to both goals.
This is Joey Fink. Jungle takes it away from Fink. Dan Counts after Jungle. Foul will go against Baltimore's Counts. Jungle drops it for Tuchek. Shot is blocked by Stankovic. Gazonis fires it. Billy has it again, taken down by Joey Fink. Dan Counts heads it back to midfield, and Barelich has it now for Baltimore. This has been a rough, aggressive game throughout.
Baltimore, before this game, was the second most penalized team in the league.
They picked up 4 here in the first half, and on 2 of those occasions, the Arrows have scored. It is 3-2 Baltimore with 35 seconds left in the half. Joey Fink, 44 goal scorer, but he's been out killing a lot of penalties tonight, and he has not been in the offensive flow that much. Here's Gomez, had to wait a bit for that ball. Barelich with him. Good move by Omar. Got it to Tuchek, but the pass a little bit too hard. Counts comes up with it. 17 seconds left in the half. Here is Billy Gazonis to Gomez. 12 seconds. Gazonis trying to tee it up back to Gomez. Back heels it in front of Joey Fink. Intercept with 5 seconds remaining in the half. And that'll be it. The horn sounds, ending the first half here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It ended in a bit of a flurry for the Arrows, but they're unable to come up with the equalizer. And Don Popovich and the New York Arrows head back to the New York Arrow locker room, trailing in the game by a score of 3-2. So after the first half of play, it is Baltimore 3, the New York Arrows 2. And we'll get back here to the Coliseum right after these words.
Stand by.
Spencer Ross and Roy Messing back here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We're at halftime with the Baltimore Blast leading the New York Arrows by a score of 3-2 in a first half that was exciting. It was well played. It was very aggressive. There was a lot of hitting out there in that first half. Baltimore took a 2-0 lead, and all those penalties really kind of nullified the edge that Baltimore had.
Absolutely. I think the word aggressive is being polite, to say the least. very physical game, and the referee right on top of it. That's a lot of penalties to see in one half, and it changes the aspect of the game very much. It's a difficult coaching situation. Baltimore doing very well to get up 2-0 early in the game. The 4 penalties got New York back into it, and now Ken Cooper's facing a very difficult situation. His players are tired. New York is back in the game and starting to roll. Very fortunate to get the 3rd goal to put him up before halftime.
Well, Baltimore had that 2-0 lead. Erkley and Crosley had scored, and then the Arrows finally came back early in the 2nd quarter to make it a 2-1 game. And then later in the quarter, they tied it at 2-2. But as Roy mentioned, Baltimore came back to make it a 3-2 game at halftime. And the Arrows on the attack right here.
Great. This is a great goal. It's a good setup from Gomez. He did a great job to get around the player the first time. Now he sends it high on the glass. Gottenheimer can't get it there. Jungle comes in on the back post and bounces it under the goalkeeper Gottenheimer up into the top of the box, and we see Gomez celebrating. He did a lot of work to set up that goal for Steve Jungle.
And it was number 83, as you saw, for Steve Jungle. But Nick Mangione came back for Baltimore in the closing stages of the first half. Both Arrow goals, man advantage goals. Baltimore came up with a man advantage goal of their own. So at the end of the first half of play, it is the Baltimore Blast 3, the New York Arrows 2. And right now, from Roy Messing and Spencer Ross, we go to Shep Messing and the Skoll Happy Days Shootout.
Welcome to the Skoll Soccer Shootout with Shep Messing. It's New York versus Philadelphia, and each week a team of 2 people representing their MISL city will compete for the most total goals in the least amount of time. Each of 4 contestants will get 60 seconds to shoot 4 balls against the MISL's premier goalkeeper, Shep Messing. Watch as people from all walks of life compete to represent their city in the finals.
To a lot of people, soccer is just a game. But for me, well, it's a way of life. Nothing beats it. And nothing beats my Skoll either. It's smokeless tobacco with a fresh taste of wintergreen. Gives you full tobacco pleasure without lighting up. Just a little pinch between your cheek and gum is all it takes. The best part of going smokeless? It's really relaxing. Try some.
On our next telecast, it will be the finals of the 81-82 Skoll Soccer Shootout. 4 players, 2 from each city, New York and Philadelphia, will be there. We're reliving the performances of each of the 4 players to see what they did to put them in the finals. This is Audrey Mitz of New York. Her second chance coming in on Shep. A lot of velocity on the shot. Shep slapped it down, but it rolled in for a goal. Audrey now with her 3rd of 4 opportunities. Getting around the cones in fine form. Coming in on Shep again, her 2nd goal behind Messing. And now for her 4th opportunity. Comes off the line, whoops, lost it. Can she recover? No, she can't. She'll lose a little there, but comes in on Shep anyway, fires away, and Messing is there with a body save. And Audrey runs across the line to stop the clock. Let's look at it again on replay. You see Audrey pushes through the first cone with the outside of her right foot. She comes back with the inside of her right foot. At all times, the ball was in close to her body. She got off a fine shot. Now, this is Mike Hines, one of the best competitors throughout the Skoll Shootout. Watch him go around the cones. His first one was in. Now his 2nd opportunity. Look at that. Comes in and fires another one by Shep Messing. There are some players in the MISL that wish they could do this. Mike, inside, outside, weaving through. Missed that time. And now his 4th and final shot. Mike Hines competed for Philadelphia and will compete for Philly in the finals. Here he comes. That one is in. Mike Hines, 3 out of 4 goals. He had Shep shaking his head. Look at this. Feather-like touch. The ball never got away from him. But just before the shot, he didn't even touch the ball. He just ran onto it. Really blasted it by Shep Messing. We move on. This is Hines' teammate, Norm Shell of Philadelphia. Norm, high off the glass. But watch, Norm has a cannon-like shot. He's a little bit slower than some of the other players, but he's very determined. That one got by Shep. Remember, these are replays for what these players did in the regular season, if you will, of this Skoll Shootout. Another one by Shep. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's that final shot and the technique and concentration that can help you out. Norm again puts it by. This Philadelphia team looks really tough. Now, John Barris. John is a referee also in soccer. He beat Shep on a strong line drive. And the competition between these two was very funny. John kept taunting at Shep, and Shep kept taunting right back, and John just kept putting him right by Messing. John goes back to the line. See, he's able to stay with the ball, anticipate its roll. Has Shep beaten again, and Shep was sprawling to the right side, shaking his head. The final chance for John Barris. Shep comes out this time and makes the save. Here's a look at it again. John with a soft touch to the right, stopping the ball just as he sees he has a line on squeezing it through the cones. That's when he applies the touch. And that last touch is so important. Watch John. Comes right in on Shep and sends him sprawling. Another one in the net for John Barris of New York. Here's another replay of it. You see John stays with it the whole way. Shep comes out but falls back on his heels, and Barris takes advantage of it. You'll see these four in the soccer shootout finals on our next telecast.
Spencer Ross back here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We're at halftime. The Arrows are trailing the Baltimore Blast by a score of 3-2, and I am surrounded by fans here who come out and see the New York Arrows on a rather regular basis. Laura Savage over here. This is Andy Langer. You will get to last because you're an out-of-towner, and over here is Bill Enoch. And the reason this gentleman is here, this is his crutch. You talk about a loyal rooter, and having guts, too. He comes in with a broken leg with crutches. His name is Wayne Sherman, and you're a big Baltimore fan. What are you doing here tonight?
Well, we came up here to cheer on our team, and hopefully we'll get a win out of it. The game's going really good, and both teams are playing a really good game, so we hope we get a win out of it.
Well, you got great fans here, and if these folks start up with you, you can just hit them with the crutch. Laura, how long you been an Arrows fan?
3-4 years.
3-4 years? How often you get out and see him play?
Well, I've been 5-6 games this season.
And you've seen mostly victories, right?
Yeah, just about.
It's exciting. And for you, Mr. Langer, you get out and see quite a few Arrow games during the course of the season.
Yes, I go to about 10, maybe 15 games, a year, and I do my best to get out to see the Arrows because they're a great team.
This is the time of year when it gets exciting because this is the time of the year you're moving toward the playoffs. Arrows have won 3 consecutive MISL championships. You think it's going to be a 4th?
Yes, I do. I think teams like Buffalo and Pittsburgh are doing their best to try to beat the Arrows, and I think the Arrows are the number 1 team in New York. That's the team to beat, New York.
I see you got your mug right there.
Right.
And you talk about what Langer just said in regard to the parity, really. It is becoming a lot more fun as teams get a little closer to the Arrows, isn't it, Bill?
Oh, yes, obviously. There's more competition, much closer games, much more fun. Not coming out and seeing a definite winner, but seeing a good close game.
Tonight's game, how do you evaluate it so far?
It's been pretty good, back and forth game, close, tough fighting.
Tonight there's a crowd of some 8,000 here. You go down to Baltimore and they sell the building out, and this is indeed a beautiful sport. And you look around, you tell your friends to come out. Are you surprised that more of them aren't here?
Obviously, yes, absolutely. It's a good sport. I don't know why, but they're not coming up.
They're missing a great show. And while 3 of the 4 people here are firmly convinced the New York Arrows will repeat as MISL champions, the man with the crutch is not, right, Wayne Sherman?
Not that I'm not convinced. I just hope that Baltimore does it this year, and I'm sure they have all the teamwork and the power to do it. Like I said, it's a close game. It's really a good game. And a lot of the teams this year look good. It's going to be really a close call down to the playoffs. It's really going to be close.
I'll tell you, you talk about loyalty. Not only is this man here with a broken right leg, and we cannot get a shot of his cast, but on his cast, most people just have friends write signatures on it. He has players' autographs on it. He also has a Baltimore Blast logo on his cast. Can we get a shot of that? Lift your leg up. Look at this. We got a man with a broken leg. We're telling him to move it around. There is the logo right there, right over the right toe. I'll tell you, you guys say you're rabid fans. Laura, if you broke your leg, would you wear a New York Arrow logo on your calf?
Yeah, definitely.
You would. Is that a unanimous decision?
Yes, I would. Definitely.
Okay, Sunday, the New Jersey team's going to be here. You're going to be out and see it?
Yes, I'm definitely going to be here on Sunday to beat them. New Jersey. Beat New Jersey.
On April 30th, the playoffs get underway. That's when the Arrows will open it up. But this Sunday, the regular season continues. Get out, join Laura, Andy, and Bill. This fellow's going to be back in Baltimore, and watch the New York Arrows in action right here at the Nassau Coliseum.
Number one team. Number one team.
That's what the man says. Fill that mug with something, and we'll be back with the start of the second half right after these words.
Roast Beef Restaurants, the champs of roast beef, and the New York Arrows, the champs of indoor soccer, would like to make you a hometown hero, and it's fun and easy. If you're between 8 and 12, just register at a participating Arby's. Every week, Arby's will pick winners who will be their guests at an Arrowsville game. They'll compete in all these hat-trick shootouts, score 3 goals in the best time, and you win first prize. A $250 shopping spree at Herman's Global Sporting Goods. There are big second and third prizes, too. Arby's, how can we do that? It's for kids!
Spencer Ross and Roy Messing back here at the Nassau Coliseum. Halftime, the Baltimore Blast has arrived back on the field. We await the New York Arrows. 3-2 in favor of the Baltimore Blast. And they're one of the young, happy fans here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum out to see New York Arrows soccer. And I mentioned the playoffs just a short while ago. And the first MISL playoff game for the New York Arrows here at the Nassau Coliseum will be Friday night, April the 30th. And so for further playoff and ticket information, call the Arrows ticket office, 516-NY-ARROW, 516 New York Arrow, or 692-7769, which amounts to NYARROW. Friday night, April 30th. Right here at the Coliseum, the Arrows will open up defense of their MISL title in the playoffs. Both teams are back, and Roy, as you were saying, a factor here could be the physical condition of this Baltimore team. And yet they were the first team back in the field.
Yeah, well, this is one thing to wonder about Baltimore. Obviously a good team as we get a look at Don Popovich back on the bench. But Baltimore, obviously a very strong team, in a slump, and you have to question why. What puts a team like that in a slump? One possibility, Ken Cooper drives this team very hard. At the beginning of the season, they showed tremendous fitness, and perhaps in a 44-game schedule, they're starting to tire a bit.
And there is Kenny Cooper. What a job he has done with this Baltimore team. He has made believers of the fans in Baltimore, made believers of the city. They play in the same arena that the Baltimore Bullets played in for many years, and you old Knickerbocker fans, there's the owner of the Baltimore team, Bernie Roden, and his wife Fran in attendance. Now he should be smiling right now, but he knows there are 30 minutes remaining. As I was saying, though, they play in that old Civic Center where Dave the Butcher and Gus Johnson battled for so many years, and the Bullets could never get the city of Baltimore to put seats in the end arena where there's a stage. Yet this team has gotten the cooperation of the city of Baltimore, and I understand the city is going to come up with the bucks to add those extra seats, and where the Blast draws, they need them. We're underway here in the second half. The Arrows trailing it by a score of 3-2. And Long Islander Seth Guttenheimer has the ball in goal. He's played well for Baltimore through the first 30 minutes. Peter Barrelich going for it. Rifles one of the rebound. Callahan's shot sailed wide. Comes back out. Stankovic hits it high off the glass. And it comes back out to Gomez. Baltimore has come out flying here in the third quarter.
Well, Baltimore comes out flying in the offensive third, and then as soon as there's a turnover, they all race back into the defensive third, where you see them now. All 5 players in their defensive third trying to crowd up the New York Arrows. It's been effective, or relatively effective so far.
14:05 left in the third quarter. Jungle with the ball, being double-teamed as he usually is, and it's taken away by the Blast. This is Mangione. He's at the go-ahead goal in the game. Callahan plays it off the wall, cleared out by Gomez. Karasi shoots it to center, but it's intercepted by Stankovic. Jungle right with him. Stankovic control. 13:35 left third quarter. 3-2 Baltimore. Good wall pass back to Danny Counts. Drops it for Mangione. Goal! Danny Counts to Mangione. Mangione's second of the night, and the Blast leads it 4-2. They don't look tired.
No, they didn't look tired there. Very good goal for Mangione. Starts with a wall pass. Now watch Karasi. He has to go with the man. Doesn't even make a move. This gives Counts a lot of room. takes it, tees it up, now gives a good pass square to the left. Mangione goes to the right of Chila. Shep was screened as the ball, didn't see the ball until it came around Chila's left side, and it was already by the back post. Great goal for Mangione. Spun it around with his back foot to that back post.
Makes it 4-2 now in favor of Baltimore. Ercole going for it, but Gomez has it now for New York. Chips it ahead. Joey Fink in a foot race now. Number 14 for Baltimore. Comes over to Tuchia. Ball is knocked back, and Ercole comes up with it. Has Crosley on the right. They team for the first 2 goals. Good move by Ercole. Fires. Good save by Messing. On the rebound, Shep clears it back to center where Gomez has it. Gomez tries to chip it ahead, but it is knocked down by Baltimore's John Collins. 12:50 left third quarter. It is 4-2 in favor of Baltimore. Ercole to Crosley. Crosley save. Messing. Rebound Strennisser. This is Jungle. Gomez. Good ball to Jungle. But Gottenheimer got out there, was tripped up by Jungle, and it comes over to Crosley. Jungle, though, worse for it. He is still down in the far corner. And Baltimore moves up with Joey Fink. To Crosley. Plays it off the glass, and the rebound is in by Ercole. Crosley and Ercole once again in the first quarter. It was Ercole to Crosley, and then Crosley to Ercole, and here it is Crosley once again to Ercole, and Baltimore leads it 5-2.
Certainly a good goal from Ercole, but New York playing very poorly in the back. Nothing Cabello can do there, but look at Tuchia. He's got 5 yards inside the box, and he's only 3 feet from the net. We'll see the ball start here from the middle of the field. Changes sides from Fink. Now as he takes Cabello on, Cabello covers the goal, so he goes for the Misl sign, hits it high on the glass. Look at Tuchia. He's got 5 yards, and he's only 3 feet from the net. Nothing Shep can do. It's point-blank range. Pat took it very well.
So Pat Ercole gets his second of the night, his 11th goal of the season, and for the second time on his goal, Paul Crosley picks up the assist, and it is now a 5-2 game in favor of the Blast.
You got to look at Keith Van Aaron, the other Baltimore goalkeeper who's seen a lot of time this year. He's probably starting to warm up. Steph Gottenheimer shook up a little bit in the collision with Steve Jungle.
The Arrows came out to start the second half down by a goal. They now trail by 3. Baltimore scored the last 3 to break a 2-all tie, and the Blast leading at 5-2 with 12:02 left in the third quarter. This is Stankovic. Liverich giving him trouble. Mike Stankovic, number 5. Last time we saw the Blast in Baltimore, Stankovic was hampered with some strained ligaments. Looks healthy tonight. Barelich puts it up in the air. And Val Tuchia plays it now for New York. Ahead to Liverich on the left wing. Strennisser to Kitson. Liverich. Mangione chases and comes out with the ball. It's a 2-on-1. Has Barelich on the right. And he's looking for Barelich. Feeds it off the wall to Barelich. Liverich was right with him. Barelich puts it through Mangione. Cleared out by Liverich. He saved the goal. It was rolling in ever so slowly, and Liverich finally got there. That's it, Mark. Well, Mangione deprived of the hat trick by Mark Liverich.
You got to look at it here. This is some wild action in front of the net. Barelich, a loosely little chip. Now Shep comes out, gets a piece of it, or else it was in the net right there, but it spins enough and slows it down, and Liverich with a great save races back and pulls it off the line.
Back live now. Great effort by Mark Liverich. Baltimore's Mike Stankovic gets it ahead now to Peter Barelich. 10:42 remaining in the third quarter. Baltimore with a 3-goal lead at 5-2.
New York cannot sit back and wait now. They must come and win the ball.
Here's Dan Counts, number 8. Drops it back to Stankovic. And Baltimore in no hurry, but a little early to start playing this kind of game. They're in a good flow, and they've got good rhythm, and you just completely take yourself out of it when you start doing this kind of thing.
That can be true, but it is very tempting. They're up 5-2 in New York. When they have the ball, they might as well hang on to it. Make New York play. Make New York come to them.
Here's Paul Kitson, back to Strennisser. Arrows moving it around. Kitson. Katakalitis. And Guttenheimer has it. Distributes it out nicely. Stankovic trying to move around Rayevich. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Arrows are trailing 5-2. Out in front it comes. Kitson intercepts and gets it deliberate. Kitson streaks down the right wing. Stankovic tries to break it up, but Kitson has the ball. To Gazonis. Little Billy. Number 6. Sheila. Blocked in front by Barrowledge. Bad ball by Gazonis. And Baltimore counterattacks now with Danny Counts taking the center on a 3-on-3. Dropped for Barrowledge. Gives to Fink, and the save is made by Messing.
Great save. Hard and low to the back post, and Sepp held on to it in the crowd.
Here's Rayevich to Sheila. Back to Rayevich. 8:45 left third quarter. Arrows are trailing by 3, 5-2. Dragon Nikitovich, number 12. Rayevich. Nikitovich. Jungle, wall pass, Nikitovich plays it off the wall, and it comes back to Chila. The one thing about a great team, and the Arrows are most certainly that, down 3, you don't panic. There are still 23 minutes left in the game. You still play your normal game and try and get them back one at a time.
The thing about it is New York hasn't just heard about it or read about it. They've done it so many times. They've scored so many goals in a short period of time. They know it can happen. They've done it.
And the key is patience. Baltimore comes out with it. Joey Fink, who has been held in check tonight, 44 goal scorer, 6th leading scorer in the MISL. Here's an opportunity for Ercole. Here's an opportunity for Fink, but he couldn't play it off his chest cleanly. Here's Ercole, a shot blocked by Chila. Ercole goes for it again. 7.5 remaining in the third quarter. 5-2 Baltimore. Joey Fink in close quarters. Rayevich goes after Fink. Fink still controlling, firing, save on the rebound. What great control by Joey Fink.
Tremendous skill. That's what makes Joey a very dangerous goal scorer. We see two very contrasting styles of attack. New York likes to play the ball with feet. Baltimore always goes to the boards. Joey just then trying to get a shot at the Misl side. Makes it very hard for the defenders when they have to spin around and the attacking players can just race forward for the rebound.
Here's Jungle. Nikitovich tied up with a good sliding tackle by Stankovic, and the Arrows will chase it down. Newest addition, Mike Rayevich. To Tuksha. This is Jungle. He's around McAvan. He fires wide. On the rebound, it comes back to Stan Karasi. 6.5 remaining third quarter. 5-2 Baltimore. Val Tuksha. Nikitovich to Stan Karasi. Back to Tuksha. Mangione marking Tuksha. It comes in front. John Collins chips it up into the air, and this is Ercole. Back to Collins. 6 minutes remaining, third quarter. 3-goal lead for Baltimore. 5-2. Paul Crosley pirouettes at midfield and gets around Karasi. Good ball to Ercole. Plays it off the wall. Mangione just trying to chip it over the head of Messing, but it deflects up into the crowd. Nick got a little too cute there.
Well, he knew that the players were going to start heading for the ground. Sepp spread himself out. He was trying to wait and put it over. We'll get a look at it here. First, a good shot from Ercole, and now a deflection. Now he wants to wait for the players to go to the ground. Machia spreads himself in front, and he goes over the top.
5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Arrows trailing it by 3 goals, 5-2. We'll get back right after this.
New York.
Back here at the Nassau Coliseum, 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Arrows trailing it by 3 goals, 5-2. Stan Tarasi, who has scored one of the Arrow goals tonight, number 8, and Nick Mangione, number 19 in the white jersey, who has a couple tonight for Baltimore. Here's Mangione. Jungle made a move around Stankovic. Karasi on the rebound, and it's cleared up into the crowd. A first half that saw Baltimore down a man on 4 occasions. The Arrows down a man on 1 occasion. And here in the second half of play, we have yet to have a penalty. Baltimore had 2-man advantage goals. The Arrows had 1. Tuksha taking it away from Polahan. Gomez in front. Stankovic clears. Tuksha, Jungle, goal!
This is a classic New York goal. Starts as Val Tuksha. It's going to be 3 men working the ball in the box. Gomez, he's going for Jungle on the back post. He's blocked. He wins the ball back. Plays it to Tuksha. Plays it first line to Jungle. And the classic New York Arrow finish. Steve Jungle spins it high to the near post as Sepp Gottheimer goes to the ground. Watch the control here. This ball is going for Steve Jungle. It's blocked. It comes back to Gomez. Now, 1 time to Tuksha, 1 time to Jungle, and first time, look at that open spot high, and he puts it right there. Gottheimer gets a piece of it, but not enough. Great goal for Steve Jungle.
Jungle's second of the night, is 84th of the season. Arrows are back in it at 5-3 with 4:49 remaining in the third quarter. 10:06, the time of that goal. Jungle from Tuksha. And the Arrows have narrowed the margin to 2.
Makes a big difference being 5-3 as opposed to 5-2. The next goal is a very important goal.
Here is Jungle. McEvan chasing him. Goal! There's the next goal. The human scoring machine, Steve Jungle.
When a player crosses the red line, that's the time when a goalkeeper usually tries to steal a look to see where everybody is. Jungle rifles it. Gottheimer was still on the near post. Just crosses the red line. Gottheimer doesn't expect a shot at this point. He's still checking. He's all on the near post. Steve rockets it. You see it dip and hit the turf just as it reaches Gottheimer, and under his arm into the back of the net. He gets him when New York needs him. What a goal from Steve Jungle.
So a pair of Jungle goals in 18 seconds, and he does it again! Steve Jungle! Incredible! Steve Jungle has scored 3 goals within a span of 37 seconds. And the Arrows have tied it up at 5-5, and listen to this crowd.
The crowd's going wild. The scoreboard clock is printing wow, and that's all I can say, wow. You see the defender get caught. You can't get caught behind Steve Jungle. He waits for the goalkeeper and then spins it to the back post. Gottheimer did well to cut down the angle. Jungle, a tremendous job in finishing, finds that back post, and congratulated by his teammates. 3 goals, 37 seconds, unbelievable.
So we're tied now at 5-5, and here's Jungle again. 4:03 left in the third quarter. Here's Mangione. It comes back to Stankovic. Gomez. Counts was with him. Here's Jungle. Beautiful ball and a goal, Clavillo. Steve Jungle can score, but he gives the ball up when he has to, and he did there, and Clavillo with a goal to make it 6-5.
What a circle. A lot of credit to Omar Gomez. The New York crowd loves it. Gomez is fouled twice here, but he has possession, so the referee calls play on, and there's the advantage. Jungle draws the goalkeeper, Clavillo, a fantastic run and a perfect ball right on his foot in stride. Great goal for New York. You see Gomez being fouled here. The referee sees New York has advantage, so he lets them play on. Jungle takes the ball, waits for the goalkeeper. Now he slots it to the backside. Great goal. Fernando Clavillo.
His first goal of the season, and welcome back, Fernando. So the Arrows with 4 goals within a span of 1 minute and 10 seconds. 3 by Steve Jungle in 37 seconds. And 3 by one individual in 37 seconds. Far and away a league record. Kenny Cooper has to be saying, what's going on here? We had you by 3. We're down now by 1.
Cooper went to get a drink at the back of the bench, and he came back, and look what's happened to his team. Their heads have to be spinning now, and I feel for Seth Gottenheimer. Hasn't touched the ball in the last 3 goals.
Ball, Kitson chasing for the Arrows. Gottenheimer gets it ahead now to Mangione. But a bad ball intercepted by Strennis, who gets it to Jungle. Jungle chips it into the corner to Kitson. Back outside to Tupcher, who fires high. 2 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, and the Arrows with a 6-5 lead. And what a display of offensive firepower and excitement, the kind of excitement you see when the New York Arrows play here at the Coliseum, and you can get out and see these Arrows this Sunday against the New Jersey Rockets at 2:05, and then a week from tomorrow against the same Baltimore team on the 18th. Philadelphia's in town on the 25th. The regular season at home closes out against Pittsburgh. The phone number for ticket information, 516-NY-ARROW, and the playoffs get underway here at the Coliseum on the 30th of this month. There's Don Popovich, the Arrows coach.
Believe it or not, he's smiling.
Oh, what a turnaround from being down 5-2. Jungle scores at 10:06. Jungle at 10:24. Jungle at 10:43. That's 3 goals in 37 seconds. It's tied at 5. And then 33 seconds later, Jungle deep. Clavillo deep. Might have had a shot himself, but he gave it to Fernando. And the Arrows lead it by a score of 6-5. We have 2 in the third quarter. Confidence, because at this point, Baltimore appears a little bit confused.
Well, if anything's going to confuse you, that'll do it. 4 goals in such a short period of time.
Here's Mark Liverett on the rebound. John Collins drops it back to Gottenheimer with 1 minute 44 remaining in the third quarter. Arrows lead it by a score of 6-5. Ercole goes for the ball. Liverett tried the sliding tackle and missed. Ercole again. Rayevich comes up with it for New York to Chila. Ahead to Strenison. Here's Crosley. Crosley tonight with a goal and 2 assists. Ercole with 2 goals and an assist, giving it to Bob McEvan. McEvan shot on the rebound. Ercole saved by Messing. Took the hat trick away from him. Shot by Count, sails wide. McEvan goes for kind of a dangerous high kick. The play continues. Dan Counts with 48 seconds left in the third quarter. Seth Gottenheimer getting it ahead now to Counts. 40 seconds remaining. Ercole. This is Lou Nagy, number 21. Joey Fink. The Counts, back to Fink. Loose in front. Gibson clears it out. Liverett drops it back to Strenison. Long ball to Gibson, broken up at the last possible moment by Stankovic. Messing, super save by Shep, and he gets it ahead to Gibson. 4 seconds left in the quarter. That foul will go against Dan Counts.
Rayevich on the ground. Also got the wind knocked out of him. We'll see Bob Baldwin, the trainer.
Visual timeout on the field.
You got to look at it here as Dan Counts and Paul Kitson both go for the ball here. Here comes Rayevich. He gets that thigh right in the rib cage.
Rayevich being attended to by Bob Baldwin. And what a comeback for the New York Arrows. It looked like he did get kicks in the rib.
Shep has made 2 saves in the last 2 minutes. They were absolute goals, tremendous saves. You see Machia giving direction to the other defenders.
3 seconds left in the quarter. Baltimore just trying to chip it up toward the goal, and they do. Messing punches it away as the horn sound, ending the third quarter. A third quarter which saw the Arrows go from down 3-2 to down 5-2, and then a 4-goal flurry in 1 minute and 10 seconds to give the Arrows the lead at 6-5 after 3 quarters of play. So we'll get back here for the 4th quarter at the Coliseum right after these words. It was 5-2 Baltimore. Kenny Cooper on the last bench thought perhaps things were looking pretty good. But then Steve Jungle at 10:06 of the third, Jungle at 10:24, Jungle at 10:43. That's 3 goals in 37 seconds. It was tied at 5, and that wasn't all, because 37 seconds later, here came the Arrows again.
Certainly a lot of credit to Gomez. Look at the balance and the strength. He's fouled. He maintains advantage, gives the ball to Jungle. Now Jungle will draw the goalkeeper. Gottenheimer comes out. He closes down the entire goal, but there's just enough room for Jungle to slide it to Clavillo right in stride, sends it into the open net. A great goal for Fernando Clavillo.
And the Arrows with a 6-5 lead, and take a look at that. That is the younger one, is Billy Gazonis' daughter, with the Arrow cheerleader. Billy Gazonis' daughter here, and you mentioned that Gottenheimer came out. Well, he literally did now, because he has been taken out of the lineup, and Keith Van Aaron will take his place. And as Roy says, the best goalkeepers come from the New York area, Long Island. Here's another one from Huntington, Keith Van Aaron, a native of Brooklyn who grew up in Huntington, Long Island. A 6-5 game as we start the 4th quarter. The Arrows out in front by 1. And a fresh goalkeeper in there for Baltimore. This is Paul Crosley, number 16. Machia chases it down. Here's Tuksha, Mangione right with him. Gazonis to Nikitovic. Jungle to Nikitovic. Gazonis is all alone. Here's Billy. Back to Tuksha. Bad ball and cleared back to center. Tuksha gets his head on it. Here's Gazonis. Nikitovic. Gazonis out in front, Jungle. Billy Gazonis made it happen, and Jungle put it away. The incredible Steve Jungle. His 5th goal of the night.
Watch Billy fight for this ball. He comes in. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't go for goal. He hits it right off the MISO sign. Steve controls the ball and into the open net. Tough waiting for Keith Van Aaron to break into the game. This is an excellent ball from Nikitovic here. Now Billy gets a touch of it and fouls it in. Now he reads the rebound. He knows it's going to come across to the right, so he fouls straight in. A bad pass back to the goalkeeper. Billy intercepts, hits it into the boards, gives it to Jungle. Open net. He's there again. One more time, Steve Jungle.
An incredible scoring display. Jungle now with 5 goals, looking for 6. He had 1 in the 2nd quarter, 3 in the 3rd, and 1 here in the 4th.
I was talking to to Shep this morning about how Steve would react to being chased for this scoring title. He does have a 20-point or 30-point lead over Stan Jalecki, but Jalecki is closer than anybody else has been in a long time. Jungle is reacting pretty well.
5 goals and 1 assist. But the most incredible thing about it, the way Jungle bunched the 3 into 37 seconds in the third quarter. And brought the Arrows back from a 5-2 deficit to tie it at 5. Then he fed Clavio for the go-ahead goal, 6-5. And now gives the Arrows a 2-goal margin. That man with the ball, number 7, Steve Jungle.
Coach Popovich has felt that Jungle was a little tired the last 4 or 5 games. He has a tremendous stretch in St. Louis and Wichita, and then a bit fatigued in the next 3 or 4 games. But he expected him to come back into it within the next few days, and it seems to have happened tonight.
St. Louis game, he had 5 also in a 6-5 Arrow victory. A game in which the Arrows at one point trailed by 3 goals. Here's Joey Fink. Hercules hits it high. Had an opportunity with Messing out of the net. Katakalitis gets it ahead now to Karasi. Has Jungle on the left and Machia out in front. Jungle goes for it. It's cleared out.
Good ball from Karasi to start that.
Machia. He was looking for Jungle. Karasi with 12:05 remaining. Chased by Dan Counts. That'll be a foul. It might well have been a 2-minuter. I mean, flagrant push-on by Dan Counts. That's called the frustration shove.
Well, he's having a few words with the referee, but to no avail. He's got to do more than talk now. His team has really been struggling, dropping 5 goals straight.
Jungle on the dummy play, and Karasi puts it up into the crowd.
Dan Karasi apologizing. It was a good idea. He was going high for the glass so Jungle could run on for the rebound. Just went a little bit too high. He's trying to calm his team down, trying to let them know they're not really that far out of it.
And they are not. They are down by 2, 7-5, and still a lot of time remaining. 12 minutes and 3 seconds. Here's Renato Chila to Karasi. Bad ball taken away by Nagy. He gives it to Heinz Wirtz. Wirtz has not played much tonight. This is Chila. Bad ball. Wirtz intercepts. Gomez after him. And Messing comes out of the net. Wirtz still with it. Shifted off Shep's head. And now Messing comes up with it.
Great job by Shep out of the box. 2 saves out of the box and then worked his way back in and made a tremendous save to cover up.
Jungle dropped it back that time for Gomez and then streaked toward the goal.
Take a look at Shep. Comes out with his feet. Wirtz gets a piece of it. Now Shep with a face. Just trying to cover up. He can't use his hands. He was out of the box. That's using your head, Shep.
Back live. Wirtz gets it to Crosley. Blocked by Clavio. And here's Fernando, who at this point has the game winner. The goal that gave the Arrows the 6-5 lead. They lead now 7-5 with 11 minutes remaining. Jungle to Gomez. Gomez fires. Jungle. Rebound. Van Aaron comes up with a save and flips it out to Mangione. Nick Mangione. 2 goals this evening. Puts it in front. Karasi deflects it. Mangione looks for the rebound. Back out in front, and Crosley comes up with it. This is Mike Stankovic, 10.5 remaining. Clavio going after Stankovic. Karasi comes over to double team, and the Arrows take it away. And Jungle gives it right back. Stankovic. Dan Counts. Front goal by Crosley. Counts to Crosley, and Crosley just flicked it home at a beautiful feed, and it is now 7-6, and Crosley has his 2nd goal of the night.
Counts does some good work. A little extra effort from Dan Counts. He's the assistant coach. Gets by and now goes for goal. sends it into the middle. Two players there, Crossley all alone, puts it onto the back post, nothing Shep can do. You see the initial effort from Dan Counts, pushes it by, now fights by Karasi, destroys the defender towards him as Steve races back to try and cover in the middle, can't go enough. Chilla left alone with two men, just takes a touch and puts it right on the back post, taken very well by Paul Crossley.
So Crossley with his second goal of the night, and the Arrows lead is now down to 1 at 7-6. There's Crossley in the center of your screen. Arrows with the ball. Mark Livery comes forward and fires, and the rebound, it comes over to Danny Counts. Counts trying to clear it out. Joey Fink goes for it. Arrows control. Karasi to Gomez. This is Karasi again, chipping it up into the air. Dan Counts has it. Sheila to Gomez. Gomez colliding with Counts, and that'll be a foul on Dan Counts. And the Arrows will get the free kick coming up here.
You see Gomez come in, goes to the inside, then pushes it outside. He's beaten Counts all the way, and Counts just puts his shoulder in the way, charging, obstruction call, and a free kick for New York.
Dan Counts in his 4th year in the MISL, second with Baltimore, and as Roy mentioned, the assistant coach of this Blast team. Here's Pat Ercole. He's got 2 tonight. His shot blocked by Chila, taken by Karasi, ahead to Gomez. 9:20 remaining. It is 7-6 in favor of the New York Arrows. Liverich getting it to Gomez. Gomez with a good move, fires. Good save by Van Aaron. Rayevich comes up with it for New York to Gomez. This is Liverich. McAvan, good sliding tackle, and it comes over to Miguel Falardo. Falardo making his first appearance of the evening, number 15. Puts it in front, nobody there except the blue shirt, Val Tuchia. Gomez to Strenisser. 8 minutes, 45 seconds remaining, 7-6. New York up by 1. They trailed 5-2 in the 3rd quarter.
Well, it becomes a little deceptive. New York has scored 5 of the last 6 goals, and you lose sight of the fact that this is a very tight game. I think Baltimore has finally realized that they're playing.
Gene Strenisser to Kitson. Takes a while to recover after being bombarded for 4 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds.
It's going to take more than a while to recover from that.
Counts chips it back to Van Aaron. Baltimore had that 5-2 lead, and then Jungle scored 3 in a span of 37 seconds. And just a few seconds after that, Jungle set up Fernando Clavillo. Here's John Collins, long balling it. Rayevich getting it to Strenisser. With 7:50 remaining. 3-on-3 for the Arrows. Livery.
Well, Jungle has been off for the last 2 minutes. He'll probably stay off another minute or so and then come on for the remainder of the match.
Don Popovich giving Jungle a little bit of a rest. A deserved one.
Should we figure out how many goals Jungle would score if he kept scoring at that rate for an entire game?
That'd be about 7 a minute. 7 times 60, that's 420. Here's Crossley. Good ball to Stankovic. And Stankovic just really tripped himself up. He was in alone. Save by Nelson. Jeff comes up big.
Very good save by Shep at a very important time.
Here's Ercole. Double teamed and Tuchia takes it away with 6:48 remaining. Messing just trying to clear it out. Arrows up by 1, 7-6. 6:40 remaining. Tripping call on the blast. Arrows will put it into play. Val Tuchia on the left of your screen. This is Billy Gazonis. Machia back to Gazonis. Ahead to Kitson. Kitson loses control. Ercole drops it back to Crossley. Collins. Off the wall. Ercole's shot goes up into the crowd. And 6:19 remains here at the Nassau Coliseum. We got a good one for you with the New York Arrows leading the Baltimore Blast by a score of 7-6. Steve Jungle with a 5-goal night, and the New York Arrows with a 7-6 lead. And Jungle with that big burst in the third quarter, 3 in 37 seconds to tie it at 5-5. And we have 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining now. Out in front, Kitson to Jungle, tries to return it to Kitson. Jungle again hustling for the ball. Jungle with great control around Stankovic. Gazonis, Dan Count strips him up. And Baltimore comes back. Here's Kitson. Jungle now with 87 goals and 50 assists. That's 2 on the assist mark off the MISL record for a season held by Jorgen Christensen. Here is Jungle. Tripped up from behind by Nick Mangione.
Took his shoe off.
Jungle looking for a 2-minute penalty. He'll sit for a moment and put the shoe back on.
It's always very dangerous when a player's taken from behind. You see Mangione just comes across and clips his heel. Might not even have been intentional. He's just coming across behind Steve trying to get goal side. Steve loses the shoe. It's time to tie it up. And there, look at the score.
And the time, 5:15 remaining as play is back in. 7-6, New York by 1. Baltimore, as we mentioned, had lost 7 of its previous 11. Kitson taken down.
Paul's got a lot of speed, and if he checks in, he creates space behind him. Counts caught short as he fouled Kitson into the check. Then as Kitson turned, he just shoved him to the ground.
Paul asked referee Winchak, how many more times before we get a 2-minuter?
A 2-minuter?
That's 2-minuter. That's coining a phrase. They don't teach you that at Yale, do they?
No. If I had stayed long enough, maybe they would have.
4:53 remaining. Arrows 7, Baltimore 6. Baltimore came into this game with a record of 22-13. 5.5 games behind the Arrows, just 3 behind Pittsburgh, 2 in the loss column. So this is a big game for Baltimore. Jungle to Kitson. The wall pass back to Jungle. Sheila to Karasi. This is Jungle. Mike Stankovic right with Jungle, who drops it off, but it's intercepted by Crosley. 4:29 remaining. John Collins comes forward to Ercole. Ercole trying to move around Machia. Good defensive play.
Excellent work by Machia. Never taken by the fakes. Maintained his speed, maintained his position, and won the ball. Very good job from Machia.
Here's Karasi with 4:10 remaining. Kitson.
Yes, John!
To Jungle. Karasi. And Joey Fink drops it back. Fink has really not gotten into the offensive flow tonight. And part of it, I guess, Roy, that first half with all those penalties.
Absolutely has a tremendous effect. Fink was on for all the man down stretch.
Baltimore looking for the equalizer. John Collins with the ball. And Van Erich comes out of his net to chip it ahead. Kenny Cooper has utilized the tactic of pulling his goalkeeper very, very early. He's played fourth quarters on 3 or 4 occasions without his keeper. And his team has wound up getting the better of it. 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining.
Yes, it is a tactic that Ken Cooper has employed on numerous occasions. It'll be interesting to see if he'll do it tonight. Obviously, what would have to happen is Cooper would have to call a timeout when his team is in possession of the ball, either on a free kick or in the goalkeeper's hands.
Here's Crosley going for it. The best time to really do that early is when you're down 4 or 5, and it doesn't matter if you lose by 7 or 8 in a one-goal game. Far different. You wait till the last minute. 2:50 remaining now, and we're getting close to that. Tuksha, and it's now a 2-goal game. Val Tuksha with a rifle. Right foot makes it 8-6 New York.
Tuksha had 2 bullets in the last game against Buffalo. Makes a big difference here tonight. Take a look at it here. It starts with Karasi. Now, goalkeeper Van Aaron has a practice of going to the near post and then going back post as the player shoots. Just as he went, Tuksha went high to the near post. Watch Van Aaron come to the near post, and as soon as Tuksha winds up and shoots, Van Aaron starts to go to the back post. It goes high over his shoulder. A rocket from Tuksha. Really nothing Keith could do about it. A great goal.
Number 12 on the season for All-Star defender Val Tuksha at 12:15 from Stan Karasi, and the Arrows now lead it by 2, 8-6.
But Baltimore has pulled their goalkeeper. They had the opportunity to do it before the start of play. So now they'll play with 6 players all going forward.
Here's Danny Counts. Joey Fink puts it on net. Messing looking up. Gives it to Karasi. 2 minutes, 19 seconds remaining. It is now a 2-goal game, and Baltimore without a goalkeeper. Here's Peter Barrett. The count. Got under the ball and fired it up into the crowd. 2:05 remaining. See all those banners hanging there, MISL banners, National Hockey League Islander banners, the home of champions here, the Nassau Coliseum. Arrows' upcoming home games this Sunday. The Arrows against New Jersey. And then a week from tomorrow night, the same Baltimore team. Going to be a great rematch Sunday afternoon on the 10th and the 18th. Philadelphia's here on the 25th. Pittsburgh. For ticket information, give the Arrows a call. NY-ARROW, area code 516. Val Tuksha getting tied up by Nick Mangione. And the foul, very obviously, against Mangione. Tuksha around Mangione. 1:40 remaining. Here's Nikitovic. That foul will go against Dan Counts.
Well, we could have let that foul go. Nikitovic did maintain possession of the ball, but he decided to call it tight, let him know the referee still had control of this game.
Fernando Clavillo, who came up with a goal that gave the Arrows a 6-5 lead. The first time they led in this contest. Here is Strenicer. And Baltimore on the attack. Nick Mangione. Last time the Arrows played this team in Baltimore, New York was forced to go to overtime before winning it. This time, Mangione puts it up into the crowd. He was looking for the hat trick. He scored twice. And there it is. A minute remaining. 8-6, New York. And Baltimore will have to pull out the proverbial stops in this final 60 seconds. A look at the Arrow bench. There is confidence in the air, but anything can happen in this game of indoor soccer. And we saw it with Mr. Jungle coming up with 3 goals in 37 seconds. Peter Barrett on that ball that was shot toward midfield was kicked up around the head inadvertently by Gene Strenicer. Barrett is okay. He moves to the far side of your screen. He's right in the center now. Baltimore, Stankovic. They need a goal. They need it quickly. Mangione chips it up, and it goes far and wide. It'll be a goal kick coming up for New York with 46 seconds remaining.
37 seconds, setting a record.
Well, Shep has to be confident now, 46 seconds to go, and he's 2 goals up. But he saw what happened at the other end. I don't think it can happen against New York now, though.
And the New York Arrows have broken the NASL record by scoring 4 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds. A new Major League Soccer League record.
That is a record, as I mentioned earlier. The announcement just made to the crowd. 4 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Here's Jungle looking for his 6th of the night, a double hat trick. 31 seconds remaining. Arrows 8, Baltimore 6. Barrelett to Stankovic. Counts. Back to Stankovic. Tackled away. Jungle goes for it. Counts comes up with it with 12 seconds remaining. Fernando Clavillo, 8 seconds remaining. The Arrows are going to win it. It'll be their 10th victory in 11 tries. 3 seconds. And we get a whistle and play stop.
3-line
An offside pass, 3 line, as Ercole hanging down the opposite side of the field. And there's the man of the hour, the man of the week, the man of the month, the man of the season, the man of the year in the MISL, and the year. The seconds tick down, but there are 3 seconds remaining, and Bill Maxwell looks up at the clock, says reset it down to 3.
He's had a tough job tonight.
And handled it well. Called the penalties in the first half and calmed things down in a very aggressive physical game. 1 second remaining, that'll be it. So it is all over here at the Coliseum. An exciting evening, an exciting victory. Kenny Cooper and Don Popovich with handshakes. The Arrows have beaten the Baltimore Blast, and handshakes all around. The final score, the New York Arrows 8, the Baltimore Blast 6, and we'll get back to the Coliseum right after this. Spencer Ross and Roy Messing back here at the Nassau Coliseum, a game which saw the Baltimore Blast open up a 5-2 lead in the 3rd quarter, and Mount Jungle erupted with 3 goals in 37 seconds to tie it, and then Jungle feeds Fernando Clavillo 4 goals in a span of 1 minute 10, 6-5 Arrows. Jungle winds up with 5 goals, and just an incredible display by this man who is just rewriting every possible scoring record.
Well, I can't say it any better than the scoreboard printed it. Wow, it was unbelievable. And it's a show to remember. It's one for the record books. 4 goals in 1 minute and 10 seconds from the Arrows, but more than that, the 3 goals in 37 seconds. It's hard to even talk about the game because that's what we're going to remember tonight. Steve Jungle, absolutely incredible.
And he did it with finesse. He did it with velocity. Came down one time on the left wing and just completely caught goalkeeper Guttenheimer off balance by firing a left-footed shot from about 20 yards out.
He did everything. He took a shot that no one expected, put it right on the back post. Next one came around behind the defender, went right into goal, showed his tremendous finishing ability. And then more than that, later on, the 4th goal in that series where he took the goalkeeper out of the net and then laid a perfect ball off for Fernando Clavillo. He's a team player as well. He does everything. Just a great show for us tonight.
50 assists for Jungle now. As we mentioned, he's 2 off the league record of 52, and a lot of people forget the fact that this man not only scores goals at an incredible pace, but he feeds his teammates. You know, when you're out there in the field with Steve Jungle, you know you're going to get the ball.
Well, he's done a lot for his teammates, and all the other players on the forward line know it. They know that Steve Jungle opens up for him. He draws a lot of attention out on the field, and more than that, he's able to serve them with tremendous balls, and he did it tonight, and that's what makes this Arrows team so incredible, so awesome.
So the Arrows win another one, and they'll be back here at the Coliseum this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. You get out and see New York Arrows soccer. They take on the New Jersey Rockets, and that does it for a Friday evening. We hope you've enjoyed it. The final score once again, the New York Arrows 8 and the New Jersey Rockets 6. For Roy Messing, Spencer Ross saying so long from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. The New York Arrows have been brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis Brewers of Michelob. Put a little weekend in your week. Chemical Bank, the chemistry's just right at Chemical. Arby's, featuring the new delicious deli specialty sandwiches from Arby's Roast Beef Restaurants. Betamax, featuring a full line of video cassette recorders from Sony, the one and only. Ultra Seal, the ultimate in automotive protection products.